number of purposes. As Berta, and you'll meet her later, the chair of child development, one of our great faculty members, will tell you that this is a teaching facility. It was teaching that was in mind when the design was put together. And I'm even more happy that when I first met Berta and our vice president of students, I shared with them a challenge that I'd had at my prior college. And I'm pretty open that my mother had me at a very young age. She was 15, and I remember very vividly her carrying me around to her college classes. And at my last college, I did everything I could to try to create a space for students who had children. You know, college campuses aren't exactly child friendly. And I presented that challenge to Berta, and she got together with her team and went to design mode of how we might carve out some time within the facility so that students who have children could come and get counseling and tutoring and those sort of things. And so when we say that this is a teaching facility, we really mean that students will be able to come here whether they have children in the Child Development Center or not and receive the support as any other student who is trying to get through our curriculum. And so we are happy. We know that City College is so committed to social justice and educational equity. And equity in general, and this building also represents equity because childcare is very expensive. Many working families cannot afford to pay for childcare, and even if they can afford to pay for childcare, very often they can't find a facility near their place of employment or that has slots. So as we reopen our Child Development Center into this state-of-the-art building, we'll be able to provide a much-needed resource for our employees, for our students, and for our neighbors who may have children, because there aren't very many child care facilities in the greater downtown area. And not only do we have a child care facility, we have a state-of-the-art facility. And so you'll learn more about that. There are a number of guests here from our district, um, from our college, and I'm going to allow my colleagues to introduce them. But I would, before I introduce the president of the San Diego Community College District, like to acknowledge that we have another one of our board members here, Trustee Arroyo. Thank you for being here. It is my first time seeing her in person, met her virtually. She inquired about being able to come in person, and we said, sure, come join the party. So it is good to see you in person. We have a number of other district representatives who will speak later. Chris Manis, our Vice Chancellor of Facilities, Jack Beresford, the Director of Communications. I see Lance, who also works in facilities, and a number of the facilities team who all made this possible. Also like to recognize our Vice President of Administrative Services, Dr. John Parker, and our Vice President of Instruction, Tilly Chavez. And so without further ado, I'd like to introduce Dr. Maria Senior to share a few words.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's really a pleasure to be here on this significant day for our district and for City College. This is my 8th building grand opening as president of the board. This is a great achievement on the part of many people, both at the college and in the community. And all of us are proud to see this new addition to the City College campus. Let me begin by acknowledging the other members of our Board of Trustees. You've already been introduced to our newest trustee, Gisela Arroyo, who is here in person. Um, the other members of the board are Mary Graham, Craig Milgram, and Bernie Reinerson. And all of them, along with Trustee Arroyo and myself, are really grateful to you for what you've done. Our board did play a major role in ensuring that the City College was able to construct and open this new early education center. Our journey to our celebration began with the 2 bond measures that our board put before the voters in 2002 and 2006, Propositions S and N, which together brought over $1.5 billion into our district for the construction of new facilities and for new equipment. And let me add that if it weren't for our chancellor, Constance Carroll, this would not have happened. She was very careful to make sure that we found out exactly what would be approved by our voters so that we could do these wonderful projects that we've done all over the district, including this brand new one. And so after strong informational campaigns, the voters agreed that this was a top priority, and they voted to support us by large margins. We're grateful to the voters for their belief in our district and in our institutions, especially City College. We're also grateful, as I've said before, to Chancellor Carroll and all of the administrators, faculty, staff, students, and community friends who work to ensure the passage of these important bond measures. Thank you for all of your efforts. This is a final construction project at City College, the last building project of Propositions SNN. The building you have all designed together is an important achievement. The building, as you've heard before, will support child development, offering coursework, training, supervised practicum experiences to meet state licensing requirements for working in centers, schools, childcare homes, and services related to agencies. At the same time, the Early Education Center is committed to meeting the individual needs of children, their parents, and our college students. And as you know, a lot of our students will have their children here. The program strives to create a foundation for reflective early childhood practitioners who are agents of change in empowering diverse families and communities. The Board of Trustees is proud to see this wonderful new facility, and we join you in the pride you have in seeing this building become a reality. And with that, I just want to thank you and congratulate you on this wonderful opening.
Next it's my honor to introduce the Chancellor of the San Diego Community College District, Dr. Constance M. Carroll, the most beloved chancellor in the history of the San Diego Community College District.
Thank you, Dr. Shabazz. You're getting better at this. This is such a wonderful occasion for many reasons. And let me sort of walk through why. For me, personally, this is my 43rd grand opening, building grand opening. So, and that means that, of course, this is the 43rd construction project. And I want to say that when Proposition N passed and it became clear that we would be able to complete both Proposition S and the new projects in N, I'd say once a month, Berta Harris and I would have some sort of interaction. She was very worried because her building, and we think of this, it is Berta's building, is dead last. And in many bond programs, you know, they run out of money, and then unfortunately great apologies are made as to why the projects couldn't be completed. In this case, we were completing the project. And I'd like to say that, you see, the best comes last. And but Berta, you have been very patient, very, very gracious, and very focused in leading the staff, the faculty, staff, and everyone in the development of this wonderful building, which I think will be open for tours later on. Comment about the bond program. Things don't just happen, and bold things almost never happen. But in 2003, our board began to think very boldly about the fact that, yes, we had Proposition S, but now we needed to move forward with Proposition N. For those of you who are students of the history of this particular issue, you know that it won with massive public support, but also with massive media criticism. And so that made it very difficult. It was certainly difficult for me. My task was to raise funding for the campaign that was necessary for this particular building. We had another champion who's no longer with us, and that was our former sheriff, Sheriff Collender, who said that he would be the face of the building. And sometimes when I would call people when we did our telephone banking, the response would be, "Oh, that's Sheriff Collender's bill," right? Right. And I said, I will say, "Yes, absolutely. Oh, I always vote for everything the sheriff says." And he was a great friend and also a graduate. This building completes the construction aspect of our bond program, and as such, it's a celebration that we not only had a bold idea, funded the bold idea, campaigned our hearts out for the bold idea, worked with our wonderful voters to make sure the bold idea went forward, but now we have completed the bold idea on time, below budget, and it doesn't get any better than that. And the result is a wonderful facility that is going to provide tremendous service, as Dr. Shabazz indicated, at City College in terms of being a center for not only the study of children, but also services for students with children to make it possible for them to pursue their education. So this is for me quite a moving experience to be here and see this wonderful facility take place. I've watched it on a monthly basis come up, and I cannot wait to go inside and see what's there. So let me thank you all for coming. Let me just say that this building is conceived and designed by, yes, architects and firms, but the heart of this building is the faculty and staff who worked with the architects and the administration of City College to make sure that this building is the best child development center possible. And I think we've reached that level thanks to everyone's involvement. So thank you for being here. Thank you for your support. And I look forward to walking through the building with you to see the wonderful results of everyone's work. Above all, thank you to the voters of San Diego for your belief in us and for making it possible for us to provide this higher level of service. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Constance, and I'm glad after 4 years I finally got the introduction down. And speaking of introductions, I want to acknowledge, as the Constance mentioned, that the great faculty, classified professionals, students, administrators at the college came together to design this great building. We are super happy that one of our amazing deans, Lori Edica, who is over the Child Development Center, and we really don't say over, she works in collaboration with the faculty in child development, is retiring. And so this is partially Berta's building as much as it is Lori's building. And actually Lori's last day, I believe, was on Monday. And so she's already failing retirement. She's here today with us. We're so happy that she returned to see the building dedicated. So Lori, thank you for all of your leadership and your dedication. Now I'd like to introduce our Vice Chancellor of Facilities, Chris Manis, who will talk to us about the background of the construction and the architecture and more details about the building. Chris?
Thanks, Ricky. So I won't repeat a lot of things that have already been said. I think one of the hallmarks of this building is it's taken a while to build, but it's also already hasn't been in operation yet. It's already won an award. Last month it was honored by the American Public Works Association, and it was awarded an award for its landscape design. So that's quite an accomplishment for a building. Um, you know, I have to thank Constance for the guidance she gave me when I came on board about what was a priority within the bond program. And clearly, I think one of the guiding principles is that we needed to build everything that we promised the taxpayers we were build. And so that was my marching orders for the LEED Silver certified building, which was the program that the board adopted for construction, the LEED certification. So that's another great accomplishment. A LEED building's about 20% more efficient in the way it operates, and is as well as providing a better environment for the faculty, students, and employees that occupy it. With that said, it didn't get done by just me waving a magic wand and it happened. There was besides the team at City College that helped design it, there was a group of professionals that we hired to assist us in this program. I'm proud to say that we really did try to take advantage of local talent in the bond program. That was one of the guidelines that the board established. And so I'm pleased to say that, you know, a lot of the firms that worked on this building are local firms. The architect of record is Doma Studio Architecture. They used KTU&A Landscape Architects for the landscape, which won the award. The KPFF structural engineers were the structural engineers, and BSE Mechanical did the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing for this. This building was a little different than what we have done in some of our more recent buildings, because we actually designed the building prior to letting the contract out for the construction of the building, because we wanted to make sure Berta was happy with the design before we moved to move any sticks, you know, in the process of building it. So with that, we went out and hired several general contractors. The primary general contractor was EC Constructors, and they were the main general contractor in charge of about 80% of the building. And we also employed Western Rim contractors who were responsible for the installation of the landscape. Once again, it's a team effort, and so there's, you know, Lance and myself can't be everywhere as we build things, and so we had a great team of support. J.E. Moore provided Jake Woods as our project manager for this project, as well as Phil Sanfilippo was our DSA inspector for this project. And they, you know, I got to thank the entire team for their efforts to bring this building about, and appreciate the support of the taxpayers, and it's going to be a great facility. Thank you. And Berta, you're next.
Whew. Thanks for being here today or for joining virtually. This is a day that many of us have been looking forward to for a long time. The children, teachers, and faculty in the department have spent hours over the last years discussing what a dream lab school would look like. Some faculty members have retired. Some children's teachers have moved on to other places in their careers. The Child Development Center staff reviewed plans, reviewed updated plans created by our esteemed architects over these past few years. These teachers included teachers from our Head Start collaboration, which I wanted to make sure to mention. because they allowed us to expand this program by providing staffing for us and services. Thanks to them and the construction crews, we've seen this vision come to life. It is apt that we're located adjacent to the science building where other more well-known lab classes take place. We are, as they are, a place where hands-on learning happens. You've heard the bond history, the architectural and construction details of this site, so what's left to say? What I can share about is the heart and soul of what will take place in this beautiful space. I start by acknowledging that we are planning to work with infants, children, families, and college students on land with a traumatized past. Children were a part of the communities of people that to help us be more intentional, overt, and powerful in our practice. We will continue this learning and growing in the coming year and beyond. As the site of Child Development Labs, we will have college students join us in this work. They will put into practice what they're learning in their lecture courses and enter the workforce ready to provide the highest quality of care and education and to advocate for children and families. May we always listen to the wisdom of the children we serve and provide a voice for what is right for them and their development right now. May we respect the child's innate drive for learning and provide the tools that spark their interest. May we help them gain a greater depth of understanding of this world and how to live and thrive in it. May we be a place where they can solve problems and enjoy learning new things. May we be a place where children know they and their families are respected, a place where they can find a friend and help a friend. May we help them learn to speak up when others are not being treated well. May we be a place where their learning is active, rich, and joyful. May this northeast corner of San Diego City College be a welcoming site for those seeking to understand the wisdom of children. We'll start the ribbon cutting for the Early Education Center by those gathered here in front, followed by a ribbon cutting to the lab classrooms by two children that have been enrolled in our program the longest, and their parents. We have Alina, who started when she was 5 months old. Her mother, Perla, is here. Perla has not graduated yet. She needed to take time off because of the pandemic. She will return to classes when City opens up again. She's an excellent student here at City College, frequently taking honors courses with the goal of transferring to a four-year university. We also have Abel. His mother, Kimberly, is here as well. He started in 2017 when he was 1. His mother, Kimberly, was certified as a nursing assistant and received an AS degree, which helped her get into the nursing program. And she is currently employed at Sharp as a certified nursing assistant. So let's cut this ribbon.
So as Berta said, I'd ask that our board members and chancellor join us up front. And I'm going to make an executive decision. And these scissors are heavy, folks. I'm going to ask Berta and Lori. Lori, if you would join us. If Berta and Lori could officially cut the ribbon as one of our great retirees and one of our great faculty members, and if our trustee board members and the Constance, if you would join us. Yes, let's keep our mask on since we'll be in close proximity.